You might say that the Volvo XC60 has been a bit of a sales success. Not only has it been the best-selling Volvo of all time, it's also topped the charts for mid-size SUVs in the premium sector for the last 2 years. Each year it's been on sale, these sales have increased, with the record year coming in 2016. So the second generation vehicle's got a little bit to live up to. Well, things start pretty well. It looks like an XC60, which is a great thing because people clearly like it and have been buying it. But now it's got a mix of the XC90, its modern bigger brother. So you've got the Thor headlights and the big aggressive grille. It's a little bit longer than the model it replaces. It's about the same width, but it's a lot lower, so the car looks a lot more squat on the road. It's available with 4 engines, 2 diesel, 2 petrol. That's a D4, D5 and a T5 petrol, whilst the T8 with the hybrid system is also available. It's available in 6 trim levels: Momentum, Momentum Pro, R-Design, R-Design Pro, Inscription and Inscription Pro. Prices start from £37,205, and on average prices have gone up. Volvo claim this is a more premium product than the XC60 it replaces, so expect around a £4,000 premium. Now, we're testing the R-Design trim with the D5 engine, and that costs £43,205. All models come with the powered tailgate and 505 litres of boot capacity. In here you've got a nice big flat floor, although the load level is quite high, so you're going to have to jump up to put your wellies on or get the dogs in or out. Under the floor is just a space-saving tyre. There's a storage compartment on the left and a power socket, a couple of bag hooks, and a special button here that you can lower that suspension to make it a little bit easier to put your boots on or to get Freddo in and out. Climb into the rear, and it feels a little bit narrow getting in, but once in you're very comfortable. There's good headroom, good knee and foot room if your feet are squeezed together a little bit. The transmission tunnel is wide but quite low, but that does mean that anyone sitting in the middle will share the footwell of the side passengers, and that's already a little bit tight, so could be a little bit more uncomfortable. Everything again in here is nicely finished. There's some nice leathers and soft touch plastics, and these seats really are very supportive and comfortable. In the door there's space for a bottle. There's a power socket down there, this little tray there which won't be used for much and will probably be squabbled over who's going to use it, if anyone at all. Air vent on either side and a coat hook. In the middle, the fold down armrest has a little tray and then a little cubby underneath that cover. Push the end and 2 cup holders spring out. In here, much of the design is really shared with the XC90, the XC60's bigger brother. So you get the big 9-inch Sensus Connect system, which controls so much of your main functions, from car safety, driver performance, radio and ventilation. It's good to use, it's pretty clear, but there's a lot going on, as there is in the XC90, and it can be a little bit distracting on times. There's a few shortcut buttons around, but the fit and finish in here is lovely. You get the same sort of leather perforated key that you do with the XC90 and the S and V90s. On this model you get the 8-inch TFT screen, which shows your speed and revs and trip computer. In front of that is this lovely leather wrapped steering wheel with shortcut controls. The R-Design also comes with these sport seats, which are finished in leather and nubuck material. Getting comfortable in here is pretty easy. On this model there are electric seats, which adjust well for height, and also tilt, which is always very good. There's electronic lumbar support, and you should be able to find a good driving position. The steering wheel then adjusts pretty well for reach and tilt, so most people should be able to get comfortable. Headroom is very good in the lowest seating position, so all boxes are ticked. The fit and finish is good. These are all soft materials, and there's leather on the armrest as well. This is a little bit harder, which is something you don't find in the XC90. There's the turning dial to start it, the rotary dial for drive modes. It's really nicely designed. It's a lovely place to be, and it really does feel premium in here. There's a big door bin which helps for practicality, and like the XC90, this slides back to show 2 cup holders in the middle, a small tray and another tray at the top. Between the seats is a small storage compartment, but it's got your USB connector in there, while the glove box is huge. So let's see what it's like to drive. This D5 diesel engine is a 2 litre with 2 turbochargers. It produces 232 brake horsepower and 354 pound-feet of torque. That's enough to get it from standstill to 62 miles an hour in 7.2 seconds. On a combined cycle, it'll return 51.4 miles per gallon and emits 144 grams per kilometre of CO2. Even though the XC60 is lower than its predecessor, you still have the high commanding driving position. So driving through the Derbyshire Dales here, I get a fantastic view out over all the stoned walls. The 8-speed automatic gearbox is smooth. It takes a few seconds to knock into gear when you really plant your right foot, but other than that, it's pretty decent. It doesn't affect your driving experience too much and keeps itself to itself. There's then steering wheel mounted paddles which do shift gears pretty quickly and have a lovely rubber backing on them for feel and grip. So drive mode has eco, comfort and dynamic. In comfort mode, with the optional air suspension fitted to this car, it's really comfortable. It wallows and wafts a little, but not too much to make it nauseating or to make it feel anything other than really well set up. There is a little bit of roll in this setting, but it's not too bad, and you don't feel forced to go into dynamic mode. In dynamic mode, you do feel the suspension firm up and it's a little bit bumpier, but nowhere near uncomfortable. Now, if you do want to push on in dynamic mode, there is still some body lean, but it's really well controlled. It's very consistent. So if you're going to do it, you know it's going to be there. You can prepare for it. However, it grips well, it turns in keenly, and it's really going everywhere I want to. So other than that tiny little bit of roll, it's decent to drive. This is all round, whether through town, through country, trying to have a little bit of fun. It's an entertaining car. This has speed-sensitive power steering, so at low speeds and manoeuvring around town, it's almost finger-twirlingly light. It's really, really helpful. It feels very consistent. As speeds increase, it firms up and gives you a little bit more resistance. In dynamic mode, it feels heavier and does feel as though there's more of a central play there, so you do feel resistance as you pull away from driving straight ahead. In dynamic mode, as well as the steering feeling heavier, the throttle feels a lot more responsive. It picks up much quicker and it feels more light of foot. The engine's impressively quiet and refined for a diesel, and performance is consistent. It pulls very smoothly and reasonably swiftly. It's not super quick, but it certainly has enough oomph there to get you going. At motorway speed, wind noise is all but eradicated. There's a little bit of road noise through the tyres, but it's hardly too invasive. At low speeds in town, the engine can be a little bit grumbly, but it doesn't send any vibrations through to the cabin. It's just an audible noise. The ProPilot on this works really well. It does steering inputs to keep you in your lane on the motorway and has adjustable cruise control, which will keep you a preset distance to the vehicle ahead. It'll also then take you down to crawling speeds through traffic. Visibility around's pretty good. These front pillars aren't too bad. The middle pillars are medium in sizing, and then there's a lot of glass at the back to help you out. There's front and rear parking sensors as standard, and this has got a reversing camera on this model. The head-up display system on this is really excellent. It's crystal clear and is minimalistic when you don't need much information. So at the moment we're going through town, there's a 30 mile an hour speed limit, which it's telling me with the 30 mile an hour red circle, and it's telling me my speed. I'm doing 28 miles an hour. Fantastic. When then I need to maneuver, I'm coming up to a junction, following navigation, then the directional signs come up to tell me where to go. Also on my TFT screen, I've got a map now in between my two dials, which saves looking down at the big control unit. Now the big control unit is doing my ventilation and my radio and things, so sometimes that's going to be used for other items. So that double backup is really helpful. The X60 really does exude class. It keeps the outside out the car and really cocoons you beautifully inside it. It's got a comfortable ride, lots of kit, and looks great. Thanks for watching Driver's Seat. Do subscribe to the channel and check out the website for the full review of the XC60.